Purchase Policy of the Monarch Court by Cedarwood, ABBA. Introduction. P1 Plus Business Concerns Limited is a property marketing, information, and development company with head office at 2nd floor, Trimetrix Towers, Lakeview Park 1 Estate, Burger Bus Stop, Lekki Ep Expressway, Ajah, Lagos State, duly incorporated under the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Our vision is to make land and home ownership dream a reality for all. We are a multiple award-winning real estate company, winner of prestigious industry awards such as P1 Group Most Outstanding and Best Performing MD/CEO Award 2023 and 2024, Business Day Top 25 CEO Award, Real Estate Firm of the Year 2023 and Best Performing P1 Group Affiliate 2023 and 2024, Most Creative and Most Innovative Affiliate Company in the P1 Group and Development and Building Affiliate of the Year 2024 and the owners of the Cedarwood Luxury Heartland, Billionaires, Autograph, and Elegance by Cedarwood Estate Series. 1. The Monarch Court by Cedarwood Location. The Monarch Court by Cedarwood is situate at 9th Miles, Umuasi Akoli Village, Arkpur Bartour Autonomous Community, after Ogbar Hills, Abingwe LGA, ABIA State. 2. Property Inspection. Clients or their representatives are advised to inspect the site, subsequent to confirmation of appointments made at P1 Plus Business Concerns Limited office or with the designated sales representative/realtor/PBO. Free inspections hold Mondays to Saturdays. Take-off time is 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Note: the company shall not be held liable for claims/issues arising from clients' inability/failure to inspect the property before purchase, and it is deemed that the property was duly inspected by subscribers and/or their representatives upon payment and signing of this form. 3. Estate Landmarks. The Monarch Court by Cedarwood enjoys proximity to fast-growing and reputable Cedarwood luxury brand of residential and commercial real estate, which enjoys proximity to major government presence and commercial investment landmarks like ABBA New Spare Parts Market and Mechanic Village, Apapo Junction, Icon Power Flour Mill, ABBA Amusement Park, National Museum of Colonial History, National Institute of Nigerian Language, Ninlan, Abia State Deep Sea Port, several P1 Plus estates etc. Guaranteeing hyper return on investment. 4. Property Title. Power of attorney and registered survey. The land is free from every known government acquisition or interest and adverse claims. The company has the long-term responsibility to ensure/facilitate further perfection of the estate's title, subject to subscribers' payment of title perfection fees to be determined and communicated at a future date. 5. The Monarch Court by Cedarwood Coordinates. 328,393.836 ME. 554,829.051 MN. 6. Plot Size. All plots are 464 square meters, equivalent of 50 by 100 feet. However, below are various plots with features that attract additional charges. A. Corner piece plot attracts additional 10% of land cost. B. Commercial plot, where applicable, attracts additional 10% of land cost. C. Special plots. These are plots fully landscaped and fenced at prime areas in the estate. There are 2 categories of the special plots. 1. Standard special plots. These are the regular plastered dwarf fenced plot with proline, and it cost an additional 3,500,000 naira only to the price of the plot. 2. Premium special plots. These are plastered dwarf fenced with bricks and proline, and it cost an additional 5,500,000 naira only to the price of the plot. 3. Special plots are only available on one-off payment. Samples of the various special plots will be seen on site to aid the informed decisions of interested clients. The prices of the special plots shall be subject to review and variation at the sole discretion of the company, taking into account prevailing market conditions, including but not limited to fluctuations in the prices of building materials. 7. Prices and payment structure. A. The purchase price, excluding documentation and infrastructure fees, is payable either in full outright or in installments as outlined in the schedule below, Subject to review and variations. Land size: 464 square meters. 3 months. Outright. Price: 3,500,000 naira. Initial payment: 1 million naira. Monthly payment for the next 2 months, 1,225,000 naira. 6 months. Installment. Price: 4,375,000 naira. Initial payment: 1 million naira. Monthly payment for the next 5 months, 675,000 naira. Note: the company reserves the right to repudiate or defer processing transactions that violate the initial deposit threshold or payments that are made after the official announcement of close of sales. Payment validates subscription even if date on purchase policy is earlier than date of payment. B. Non-payment of the monthly installments as at when due and non-compliance with the payment structure shall be treated as a fundamental breach of the contract, which may result to the following. 1. Attract default charge of 5% of the monthly payment or 5% of the total balance upon notice of demand, or 5% of the outstanding payment for every month of default after payment expiration. 2. The company reserves the right to review number of plots purchased or move subscription to another scheme or phase of the estate in the event of payment default. 3. Termination or revocation of the contract and the clause on refund would apply. Note: in the event that there are no available plots when the subscriber fails to meet the contract term, the subscriber's payment can be transferred to a new phase estate. 8. Breakdown of price structure and other fees. 1. Land purchase price, 3,500,000 naira per 464 square meters plot. 2. Power of attorney, 100,000 naira per 464 square meters plot. 3. Survey plan fees, 200,000 naira per 464 square meters plot. Note: 400,000 naira for corporate subscribers per plot. 4. Plot demarcation, 100,000 naira per 464 square meters plot. 5. Plot maintenance fees, 100,000 naira per 464 square meters plot. 6. Primary infrastructure fees, 1,500,000 naira per 464 square meters plot, which covers clearing, perimeter fencing, gatehouse, security house, basic internal road network, landscaping, street lights, CCTV, etc. 9. Other payment. Secondary infrastructure fees, this covers underground drainage, transformer/electricity, alternative power supply, plot-by-plot water connection, parking lot, estate management office, etc. Details will be communicated at a future date when the estate is ready for the set of infrastructure. A registered quantity surveyor duly licensed by the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors will be engaged to determine the cost to be borne by all subscribers, payable per plot. 10. Allocation timeline. Physical allocation would be done in a minimum of 3 months after completion of payment for the land in order of subscription/payment, provided that the fees in Clause 8, 2-4 above have been paid. Note: priority is also given to clients who paid one-off over 3 months outright or 6 months installment payment plan. 11. Documentation. The following documents will be issued. 1. Upon payment of initial deposit, a letter of acknowledgement of subscription, receipt of payment for initial deposit would be issued, and also installment payment receipts for further installments. 2. Contract of sales, payment receipt, and payment notification letter would be issued upon final payment of the total sum. 3. Deed of assignment, power of attorney, and survey plan within 4 months of payment, for provided that physical allocation has been done. Note: in accordance with relevant laws, your deed of assignment cannot be executed on your behalf except upon production of a duly executed and registered power of attorney appointing your representative to execute on your behalf, or in the alternative a duly executed power of attorney authenticated by a court of competent jurisdiction. 12. Plot development timeline. There must be evidence of active possession on your land within 6 months of physical allocation, i.e., At least fencing of plots. Where an allocated plot is not fenced within the stipulated time frame, 6 months, the company reserves the right to reallocate the subscriber to another area of the estate or a nearby scheme. Subscribers must have given proper notice and obtain written clearance from the management through the project and development unit, as well as get building permit approval from the Abia state government before commencement of development on their plot. 13. Building control restriction. In the event that the subscriber intends to build, it must be in conformity with the approved layout of the estate development guideline and building restriction below. 1. The estate layout is in sections and you are limited to build houses/structures on each section based on designated use or plan for that section, i.e. residential/commercial, i.e. bungalow, block of flats, semi/fully detached houses, duplex, etc. 2. Tenement building and high-rise houses will not be permitted. 3. All building design must conform to the required setback and building control of the estate, and such design would be approved by the company and with Abia state government afterwards. 14. Estate development timeline. Primary infrastructure will be provided within the first to second year of introducing the estate, and other infrastructure will commence with regard to the general level of development in the area, satisfactory evidence of possession of plots by subscribers and payment of secondary infrastructure fees by subscribers. Estate updates are regularly sent via email and our social media channels. Customers are encouraged to follow us on our social media channels P1 Plus, Facebook and YouTube, at Real P1 Plus, at Cedarwood Luxury. 15. Resale/transfer of plot. 1. Subscribers who have paid up on their land can resell their plot. However, P1 Plus must be duly notified for proper regularization. 2. 10% of the land consideration paid by the subscriber will be payable by/through the subscriber to the company for transfer/regularization of title/documentation. 3. The new subscriber shall bear the cost of procuring a new survey plan, title deed, and any other documents as may be required for the transfer, at the prevailing rates at the time of transfer. 4. For avoidance of doubt, P1 Plus Business Concerns Limited is not obligated to get a third party to acquire the interest of the subscribers. We do not resell for subscribers. 5. In the event that a subscriber elects to transfer his/her subscription from this estate to any other estate promoted by the company, the subscriber shall be required to pay, I, the difference in price between the current estate and the new estate, where applicable, and 2. A transfer fee equivalent to 20% of the value of the current estate, as additional consideration for the transfer. 16. Dispute resolution. It is understood that this transaction is purely civil and contractual in nature, and any difference, controversy, or dispute arising out of or connected with the terms of this document or any breach thereof which cannot be mutually resolved by amicable discussions between the parties shall be referred to the Abia State Multi-Door Courthouse ASMDCH for mediation to be conducted in accordance with the ASMDCH mediation guidelines. Unless the parties agree otherwise, the dispute shall be resolved by a sole mediator appointed in accordance with the provisions of the ASMDCH mediation guidelines. The mediation shall be held in Abia State, Nigeria. The settlement agreement reached by the parties pursuant to the mediation shall be final and binding as soon as same is signed by the parties or their representatives. Unless the parties agree otherwise, in the event that the dispute cannot be resolved within 30 days of the appointment of the mediator, the dispute shall be referred to any other dispute resolution mechanism administered by the ASMDCH. By this clause, subscribers agree that petitioning the Police, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission or any other agency tasked with criminal investigations without full recourse to this clause will be deemed a breach of contract on the subscriber's part. 17. Substitution clause. In the event that the company is, for any reason beyond its control, unable to deliver vacant and physical possession of the property described herein, the company shall have the right, with written notice to the subscriber, to allocate/reallocate subscribers to a new or nearby scheme or phase of the estate or a new estate of equivalent market value, size, and location, as at the time of payment/subscription, subject to the subscriber's reasonable approval. If the subscriber accepts the alternate property, all terms and conditions of this agreement shall apply to the substituted property as if it were the original, and the subscriber will be required to execute the purchase policy for the said alternate property as evidence of acceptance. If the subscriber does not accept the alternate property within 30 days of the offer, the subscriber shall have the right to terminate this agreement and request a refund. Any such refund shall be subject to the terms outlined in the refund clause of this agreement. 18. Cyberbullying/cyberstalking. Subscribers accept that publishing malicious content either in print or social media in a way whether intended or not to cause harm and damage to the company in disregard of the dispute resolution clause can attract civil and criminal liabilities under the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. 19. Refund policy. A refund shall be made if 1. The subscriber continuously defaults or fails to complete the purchase sum at the end of the payment plan. 2. The subscriber decides to discontinue with the subscribed plan upon a written notification to the company. 3. The subscriber terminates this agreement and requests a refund. 4. Where the subscriber continuously violates the terms and conditions of the subscription. 5. The subscriber is required to give the vendor a minimum of 120 written/email notice to process the refund request and a further 60 days if the process is not completed after the first 120 days. 6. In the event that a subscriber has been physically allocated, a refund will no longer be possible, except a resale. 7. All instances requiring refund as contained in Clause Q19, 1-4 shall be subject to a 40%, administrative, logistics and agency fees. For refunds that are requested for after the expiration of the payment plan, demurrage/default fees will be deducted from the refundable amount. 20. Death of subscriber. In the event of the death of the subscriber upon completion or prior to the completion of all contractual obligations under this agreement, the rights, interests, and liabilities of the subscriber in respect of the land herein subscribed for shall devolve upon the lawful heirs, next of kin, or personal representatives of the deceased subscriber, subject to the presentation of valid legal documentation, including but not limited to 1. A certified copy of the death certificate. 2. A certified copy of letter of administration or grant of probate issued by a competent Nigerian court. 3. A certified copy of a sworn affidavit of next of kin, where applicable, and 4. Any other relevant documentation as may be reasonably required by the vendor. Upon verification and satisfaction of the vendor shall recognize and deal with the personal representative, S, or lawful beneficiary, IES, of the deceased subscriber in respect of all matters arising from this agreement. However, such recognition shall not relieve the estate of the deceased subscriber of any outstanding obligations or liabilities incurred prior to death, including unpaid balance, fees, or charges due under this agreement. 21. Payment. All payment should only be made to P1 Plus Business Concerns Limited at its designated bank accounts. Check, /bank drafts should be issued in favor of P1 Plus Business Concerns Limited. We shall not accept any responsibility for any liability that may arise as a result of a deviation from the above instruction. Note: we are a Nigerian company and solely transact in the Naira currency. The foreign exchange rate and fluctuation does not apply for all intents and purposes at any time before, during or after this transaction. Declaration. Therefore, the information provided and the terms and conditions in the purchase policy heretofore, are acceptable and consented by me/US and I/we acknowledge receiving a copy of same. Name. Signature. Date. Name. Signature. Date. Note: if subscriber is a company or business name, 2 directors, or the proprietor, S, respectively must sign this purchase policy and attach Form C07 and Certificate of Incorporation or Certificate of Business Name Registration. For a company, the name must end with limited, while for a business name, the subscriber is the proprietor trading in the name and style of the business name, e.g. Mr. P1 Plus, trading in the name and style of Cedarwood Estates. A company must also attach a board resolution authorizing the purchase. Impression of the common seal if subscriber is a company. Purchase policy must be signed by 2 directors or a director and secretary where subscriber is a company. Anti-money laundering declaration. P1 Plus Business Concerns Limited, declaration relating to the combat against money laundering, AML, and combating the financing of terrorism, CFT. I/we, the client, please insert the natural or corporate name of the above-named client. Hereby confirms that A. The money paid by me/us to P1 Plus Business Concerns Limited is not a proceed of crime. B. P1 Plus Business Concerns Limited and I/us are subject to and obliged to comply with all relevant laws, regulations, lawful orders, or directives relating to the combat against money laundering, AML, and terrorism financing. C. I/we ensure and agree to compliance with anti-money laundering laws and regulations regarding the source of funds for the transactions with P1 Plus Business Concerns Limited. I/we shall indemnify P1 Plus Business Concerns Limited of any loss or injury suffered either by it or its employee arising from actions of law enforcement agencies including the judiciary. Signed by the client or client's duly authorized representative. Name. Address. Signature. Date.